Clips. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Clips.
Alrighty, YouTube's another one of Kip's Clips, and I hope the audio is okay or some way sort of listenable anyway. And welcome to the World Infowar News at 1 live every Monday to Friday, relatively, unless I get something better to do at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually I look at the Russia Today, BBC and UK column and compare the messaging coming out from all of them. Today's something a wee bit different because of what happened yesterday. I meant to make a video this morning and it fucked up because the audio was shite. So please, someone in the chat, let us know if the audio is not too shabby or it's worthwhile doing. So I'm going to break down what's happening with Tommy Robinson interjecting, trying to remain as objective as I can and break it down. Also, I'd like to caveat the beginning of this as well with my pursuit of not dehumanising or demonising any human being. I mean, no matter what. I think that's unless you've met this person or they're actually directly doing something to you that you could go, I should hate him now. I'm beginning to think that's because somebody else has got inside your nut, and I'm talking to myself with this one as well. Obviously. So I have no idea of 100% confirming. I've got a fair old inkling, but 100% confirming whether Tommy's just a useful idiot, he knows what he's doing, or he actually believes some of the shite he spews. There's no really one way of 100% known unless he comes out and admits it all, and then even then he might be just doing it for a book. So there's no point in dehumanising somebody or dehumanising, I'll just keep it at demonising, as the religious mumbo jumbo morons like to do. But dehumanising somebody, if you dehumanise anybody, it can lead to certain individuals out there who are on the bit of the spectrum where they tend to act instead of think about things. They just walk around and act, reacting, and those kind of individuals, using well flowery language now, people who don't think about things walk about reacting to people. They can do some real stupid stuff, believing that the person that said that with such authority was actually real. I'll give you an example. I've been critical of Tommy Robinson, and through some of the rhetoric, most of it on the fucking interwebs and for angry people, but you then get flung back at you, you're a paedophile protector, you're a paedophile, and in the crazy world in which we live, if you say that, regardless if it's for whatever reason, if you say it in an audience large enough, in the millions let's say, there's going to be at least a few people out there, because of whatever spectrum they're on in humans, are going to believe that shit. So who's to say if Tommy Robinson believes the shit or not? And I don't think we should dehumanise anybody, because it can only lead to people thinking it's acceptable to have violence against somebody that hasn't even entered your reality ever. You know, two fucking individuals walking by in the street never met before. Fucking, because somebody said something. He says it, I says it, you says it, he says it, I says it, you says it, he says on the interwebs, then fucking meet in real life and people want to start fucking going to war and shit. It's a real crazy reality that that again I've confirmed with first-hand evidence. So it's not just watching the YouTube, engaging in this shit. It's experiencing it, and so let's not dehumanise Tommy Robinson. Can certainly question not only his politics, but he's just another puppet on the string, part of the truther industrial complex. He's like on some of the stuff that he's done since he came out. He's getting a wee bit much like that politician where he's like saying shit with a slant in his eye and a smile on his face as if, man, I can't even believe I'm need to say this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's already on party point. What they done to me in there was mental torture. Yeah, apples and pears. I can't do that Tommy Robinson accent. What they done to me in there was mental torture. And solitary confinement. He was in a prison regime which numerous people have been in the UK. Sound is fine, thanks Cardini. And that many people in the UK are where you're in your cell 23 hours a day and you get one and you're out your cell for an hour each day. And there's many regimes that are like that up and down the UK. When I was held only on remand for bull crap for a month in Barlinnie, Barrel. That's the exact same regime I got. Not because I was a political prisoner or because I was getting mental torture, but because that's the way they run the fucking prisons. They lock the fucking prisoners up and go, right, okay, it's done. It's done for the day. Right. Next, then they only need to deal with the prisoners 1 hour a day, right? And you can fucking argue about the badness of that regime and stuff, but Tommy Robinson's now going to spin all this stuff to get the wee violin out to make him look like a victim. But anywho, welcome, thanks for joining everybody. If you appreciate it, thumbs it up. If you enjoy what I do, get value from what I do, feel free to use the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. Mega thanks to all the patrons. And what happens on a monthly cycle. Thanks again everybody over on the Patreon and everybody that uses the PayPal things. It's digital busking, everything's available and accessible, free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that you'll feel like using your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And a mega thanks again to everybody that does. Tommy Robinson won his appeal, so let's go and investigate what's actually happened before the alt-right spin this. And people that have got in fact there's a Skype below and there's a Hangout below if anybody wants to get involved. Let me have a look over on the Skype. There's Tony in the Skype. Anybody that's got my Skype and might be watching, let us know if the audio's okay, because I'm getting paranoid about it because I listened to it this morning, it was shite. Thanks to everybody in the chat. The Real Truth, Charlotte Cardini, Mick Vicar, how you doing, my man? Thanks for joining, guys and girls. Right, so let's go straight to the source. Oh, sorry, yeah, well, welcome to the World Infowar News. If you want to see how I'm an island of independence as the World Infowar rages on, check out the playlist Vote Us, Not Them, Full Elections, the 2 elections I've held, and my real declaration of independence to start Houstonia. Anyway, check that out. Let's go straight to the source.
Yaxley Lennon. The appellant Stephen Yaxley Lennon was committed to prison for 13 months for contempt of court at Leeds Crown Court on the 25th of May 2018. The period of imprisonment included the activation of a 3-month suspended committal order made in Canterbury Crown Court a year earlier on the 22nd of May 2017 for contempt of court. The appellant initially appealed to this court only against the sentence imposed upon him in Leeds, but later he applied for extensions of time to enable him to appeal against the findings of contempt made against him in both Crown Courts. For the reasons given in the judgment which we now hand down, we refuse the extension of time in relation to the proceedings in Canterbury Crown Court. The appellant unequivocally accepted that he was in contempt of court in a way clearly identified to him, and the procedure that was followed was fair.
In Canterbury, over a year ago, that's the picture you've got I used for the thumbnail, he admitted unequivocally admitted guilt to contempt of court while after being fully explained why he was in contempt of court. Then he came out and said, after getting this explained to him, that he was arrested for attempted journalism while shilling for shekels. So he pleaded guilty and he was still asking for legal money. This is a convicted fraudster, remember. So this is straight from the horse's mouth. No Ezra Levant or fucking Brian of London or are these characters to spin it. This is straight from the horse's mouth.
We grant the extension of time in respect of the finding of contempt in Leeds Crown Court and allow the appeal against that finding for the detailed reasons set out in the judgment, essentially because the process was flawed. We direct that the matter be remitted for a rehearing before the Recorder of London, sitting at the Central Criminal Court, as soon as reasonably possible. In the meantime, the appellant will be released from custody.
So, Canterbury, he was wrong. He was guilty. He knew he was guilty because he pleaded guilty, and by the court records, the guy up there that everybody's hailing is the best judge ever because he's freed Tommy Robinson, has said there's no point of appealing that Canterbury charge. Right, now that's very important because what he done in Canterbury and what he done in Leeds is very similar, but the one in Leeds is worse, and that's why you get worse sentence for it, because it was a repeat of the exact same behaviour. Now, what has happened is Tommy Robinson has employed the best in the West of legal team with the hundreds of thousands of pounds. God knows if it's touching on the millions that this stuff's going to cost, actually. 3 top-notch lawyers, a lot of hours. Woo, baby! Cha-ching! 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 So, they've managed to find technicalities. This is how the legal system works. It's basically lawyers arguing technicalities. It's when you've got... The law's very ambiguous. See, if you're a good lawyer, you can argue anything. You can argue black as white if you've got a good enough lawyer. You probably come out on top. You know, it's the power of the lawyer, the power of the bill that usually speaks. And what they've managed to, his lawyer team has managed to do is find technicalities that were wrong in the procedures of sticking that guy into jail. And ordered a retrial. And then while there's waiting for a retrial, he should be freed. Now, what happens to that retrial? Who knows? He could actually be given more time. And well, time will tell. But that's the real version of events. There was no arrested for attempted journalism. There was no kangaroo court. Well, the technicality they found is he wasn't given enough time. His lawyer wasn't given enough time to make a reasonable argument. So watch this space. Tommy Robinson got out on a technicality, and how long he remains out for, who knows. But anyway, so that's what it was. That's what was coming straight from the horse's mouth. Now let's have a wee listen to this Romanian guy.
Rather than making Tommy Robinson look bad. Tommy Robinson is a person who left the EDL, the English Defense League, once it started becoming very close to the far right. And what's even more interesting is that if Tommy Robinson would indeed be the leader of the far right, then it's kind of interesting that he's getting support from the entire English-speaking world and even Israel.
Even Israel!
So I guess the far right is now getting support from Israel. That's interesting, independent.
So, seeing that little minutiae of a statement, that guy refuses to accept that there are right-wing fucking nutbars existing inside Israel. There are right-wing, nationalistic, fucking crazy horse politicians that exist in Israel, as if Nutjob isn't one of them. These people are the political arm of Nutjob, Putin, and Donald Trump. These are the three people that are contributing to the fucking... Look at this guy, look what's on this guy's hat.
Well, we are here now. That's the British Embassy behind me. And people are starting to gather. We have signs. We are protesting. I'm wearing my Build Israel Great Again hat.
Build Israel Great Again hat. My lordy, lordy, lordy. They're going to build the Greater Israel wearing red hats. Now, how can you have a nationalistic hat with a slogan that's red and reproduce it in different countries? And people don't even stand round and go, gee golly gosh, Batman, you know, us over here in Scotland and we want to be nationalistic in Scotland and we love the Trump and stuff. Yeah, gee golly gosh, maybe we shouldn't get a Make Scotland Great Again hat. Maybe we should do our own thing, because the whole thing about being a nationalistic is the ability to think for yourself, man, and stay true to the homeland, man, and keep our culture. How can you fight the globalists with a global message, with a global culture, with global messaging, with a global propaganda? It's almost like we're attacking the globalists using globalism. Or is it just two competing, or more than two maybe, competing idiots out there, competing for your loyalty, trying to spread their stuff globally? And the far right, the neocons, they were the first ones get right out the bat and used mafioso tactics to spread their political messaging to the youth using the internet, through the fucking YouTubes and every derivative that's came up there of with the so-called alt media, turning people's heads to mush with all forms of shite, and ultimately basically trying to get you to vote right wing in the ballot box. And if you can't, and if they couldn't get their conservatives, old-fashioned conservatives in, they would form new parties, or get Donald Trump to branch a new party off from the Republican Party. But they tried new parties in America, didn't they? The Tea Party and all that shit. But over here in the UK, we've got the Brexiteers, and we've got Brexit and the UKIPers. Europe, you've got the rise of the National Front, Get Wilders, and all forms of new political parties. And everybody on the alternative, independent, true for industrial complex media is directing you in their direction, including Tommy Robinson. And this guy standing in Israel, protesting for Tommy Robinson with a Build Israel Great Again hat on.
It's scheduled to go at 6, but people are here early. And yes, you wouldn't believe it, but here in Tel Aviv, despite all of the negativity about Tommy Robinson that the British press and especially the Jewish Chronicle and other established Jewish figures like to put out, people actually listen to what Tommy says. People watch Tommy's videos. People know
there's right-wing, extreme right-wing nut bars in Israel too. They hate brown cunts too. They want to fucking kick them out and use the fucking the shield of freedom of speech to fester hatred towards one demographic or another.
He's not an anti-Semite, anti-Shemi. People know that.
Of course not, he just hates brown people.
He is a genuine, non-racist guy fighting the system.
Now, he's not racist against fucking Jews, but you can be racist against other people. It's all this selective who you can and cannot be racist against. And if you're black, you can't be racist them, but that Jonah or whatever her name is.
And there's Yankee. Yankee called this. Dina's the other person, she called it. And I didn't organise this. And to be honest, I'm absolutely...
It's grassroots, honestly. I had this hat and it's just grassroots hat, and look, there's another grassroots sign.
Absolutely bloody amazed. We got a few people. There's more coming because we set the time for 6, so we'll see how many are there. And I'm going to go live again.
It is going to make you
And this is a foreign muck Romanian telling you to be... This is a this Romanian guy, if he believed his own shit, would fuck off to Romania and make Romania great again. Fuck off, Dracula. Anyway, so that's Brian of London. I just want to join a few dots here. Brian of London is a knight on the No Agenda show. People that watch the No Agenda show will know what knights are. They're people who contribute to the show in way of, is it $1,000 or $10,000? I think it's $10,000 or more. I believe that. $10,000 or more, and you become a knight. And Brian of London is one of them. And he contributes stories and all that, and donates to the No Agenda show. And he's a big supporter of Tommy Robinson, sitting there over there in Israel. It's quite good though if you want to actually read what the judge says. He's got the documents. Now let's get to Tommy Robinson. 2 minutes in. And again, I don't want to dehumanise this guy, right? But I want... Man, he looks like a different dude, doesn't he? He looks like John Collins. The Celtic footballer. Anyway, not many people know who I'm talking about. Again, in the pursuit of not wanting to dehumanise anybody, I've got no way of knowing if this guy's a useful idiot, believes half the stuff he's doing, or he just like fucking loves the money, who knows, right? But this is a bit disgraceful for a man who tried to, you know, like keep his kids out here and all that, like pure, watch my pictures, man, make sure the pictures are down on my children. Like Jason Bourne, fucking that he is. Comes straight out of jail and then starts this shit.
My children don't know I'm home. They don't know I've been released. They're going to in a minute.
Daddy!
Hello, children. Seek help, my child. Daddy! Oh, Hitler fucking got about, man. Woo! I mean, Tommy Robbins. Daddy! Oh, you really should get some colour pictures.
I know I'm going to have so many thank yous I need to give people.
Now, let's go to the lords, ladies, the British. This is my theory of the truth-or-industrial complex. Now, the furthest I can trace back to the political entity that's now fucking pushing the agenda of the truth-or-industrial complex, which goes further than the invention of the internet, by the way. This is what, so follow it's in a lot of countries in recent years, we've seen the conservatism, whatever left-right paradigm usually you've got in a country, you've seen the old conservatism, the old colonial attitudes and bought and paid for politicians dwindle to a certain extent. Here in the UK, you've seen the demise of the House of Lords. The House of Lords traditionally were like on the Conservative side, and I'm going to go into the Lords and Conservatives that are funding him directly. My God, and long story short, right? the UK column are truthers, aren't they? But they're the Truther Industrial Complex. They are sitting in the offices of the British Constitution Group, a non-party affiliated political charity. They're there to spew out their political agenda. Go and study who they are, what they're saying, and you'll see a very similarity, if not a mirror, of the so-called patriots in America and the rhetoric they use to stir up support to push their political agenda. Now, rich men need fucking the riffraff to believe that they're doing it for them when they aren't. They're trying to bypass all the fucking trade unions and all that shit and the balance that's been fought for by working people all this time. So it's the rich people trying to usurp the power that's been fought for by the working people. And they've managed to convince the working people that they're fucking doing it for them. And all the gays in the village, and all the lesbians in the village, and all the blacks in the village, they've fucking got a wee fucking caricature to suck in everybody and sell them conservatism. When conservatism has always been the old guard, the old money, trying to, the people with bags of cash in industry who want the fucking workers to have no rights. Anyway, and what they want to fight for is individual rights, but they want corporations to be treated as individuals. It's not that fucking that much of a complex scam if you think about it. And Tommy Robinson's involved in all this, and I don't know whether he believes his own bullcrap or not. But why does he only talk about Muslims that are raping kids? Why never any of the white paedophiles out there? It's because he's trying to project, or he's told to project, he's paid to project a narrative. Anyway, I digress. Now, and this is some pretty scumbag fucking shit.
I want to meet and thank personally people all over the world, from Ezra Levant and Rebel Media, who've been absolute legends through this, to Raheem Kassan, to Gert Wilders, to the Middle East Forum. Do you know, when I'm sitting reading emails in my cell, I'm reading.
Oh, wow. So, Rebel Media, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you who they are. Go and do your homework. It's not that hard. A Wikipedia trace and about the who's who and where they came from will tell you all you need to know about them. Suffice to say, they come from the old media inside colonial Canada. It was the pro-colonial Canadian press. The entities that run the Rebel came from, I think it was the Sun or the Star, the Toronto Sun or Star, and if you trace back their ownership, right? Back to old fucking Rule Britannia colonial ships. Raheem, he's the old director of UKIP. Nigel Farage's good pal. Donald Trump's good pal. The guy that's fighting for nationalism in more than one country. That's right. He's collectively coordinating, by his own words, all the alt-right new parties and political drives all throughout Europe. That's what he's doing. Gert Wilders, this guy's been the Dutch extreme right-wing moron for some time, coming out and saying stuff that's hides behind the disguise of freedom of speech, I would argue, but it's designed to provoke reactions from people to then point at it and go, it's kind of like, poking a fire with a stick and then going, look, I told you it's hot when it goes on fire. You're like, fucking hell. Anyway, I digress. And then the Middle East Forum. Now, he would have been told that this was like fucking came out and kind of common knowledge when he was in there. And they were a mega funder and coordinator. And look at the characters that he's got there. I mean, my God. Now, it gets better.
Emails from people who I've not met, many of them, who are saying we're not going to rest until he's freed. It was such a feeling to know the support.
He's developed a support. I think he's developed a lisp when he's been in there. Maybe he's been sucking the bobby too much. He's moves like that.
And I've got so much I want to speak on this, but all I want this to be about is the thank yous to people. I owe people all over the world thank yous. I owe every single one of you to say that the moment of me coming home, I feel great to be home, but also, I'll go into it all when I get back off my holiday, but what they have attempted to do is mentally...
Oh, did you hear that one? He's flying, he booked the holiday a year ago to fly out on Friday. Out on Wednesday, fly away to Tenerife on Friday. Yes, you couldn't make this shit up. The gods are just shining on him, you know, because he's such a good guy. And crazy, and that's going to fuel the most fucking most sceptical of conspiracy theorists.
Destroy me. That was not a prison sentence. That was mental torture. That solitary confinement, all of it, everything was orchestrated and organised to cause me maximum disruptions.
He's been sucking the bobby too much.
So yeah, I feel nervous. I feel I've got butterflies constantly. I know I've only just come home and it sounds weird, but mainly this is just thank yous. And one thank you I want to give a special thank you to...
More special thank yous. Rebel Media, UKIPs, and the alt-right, the right-wing nationalists, the people who support ethno-states and all that, coordinator in Europe, Raheem, Gert Wilders, the guy with the best, the guy who looked the most, that guy when he retires is going to play Dracula in a movie, and the Middle East Forum. Make Britain Great Again, funded by the Middle East Forum. Make Britain Great Again, funded by the Middle East Forum. Make Britain Great Again, funded by the Middle East Forum. Crazy. Crazy. Anybody's get alarm? Any wee bells going off in anybody's head yet?
Is my lawyers, my solicitors, my legal team, and every one of you that supported them and made it possible. But John Carson from Carson K, Kelly Rowan, and the QC, Jeremy Dean. One more thank you. Actually, there's so many thank yous, I keep remembering.
People he forgot, look, he's been whoosh. Did you notice the cut there? So oh, you forgot to thank these people.
UKIP, Jared Batten.
Me? Oh, fat, you're alright. Oh, no worries, thank you, Tommy. You're alright, mate. You are welcome. UKIP and Gerard Batten. He's in brilliant company.
Lord Pearson.
Lord Pearson. I mean, see when you're in jail, you want a lord fighting for you, don't you?
Person after person after person who come out and put their neck and their reputation on the line. Do you know what I'm happy for right now? The reason why I'm happy is because I've watched and I've read as firemen were suspended, as school teachers were suspended, for simply saying that they saw something that was wrong and they didn't agree with it and they thought it was wrong. Today,
well, it's because you've given people a green light to act completely retarded. Lord Pearson. Oh, there's Alex joined. Yo. Hello, Alex.
How's it going, mate?
Aye, all good, buddy.
Hang on, let me turn it down a little bit. Am I live?
Yeah, it's on live just now. Are you okay? I'll mute you up and come back to you in a few minutes when I'm done.
Yeah, go for it.
Nice one. Oh. Right, there we go, sorted. So there's a Hangout link below and a Skype link below if anybody wants to get involved. Right, so UKIP, Gerard Barton and Lord Pearson's. Let's get into this.
You've all been proven right. You've all been proven correct.
No, you've got a retrial, mate, because of a technicality.
And I've watched.
Nobody's been proven right or wrong yet, technically. Don't want to get all technical because you got out on a technicality.
As journalist after journalist, they wrote hit piece after hit piece after hit piece.
Yeah. Let's watch this again. There is something. He's been sucking the bobby so much in there.
Today, you've all been proven right. You've all been proven correct. And I've watched, as journalist after journalist, They wrote hit piece after hit piece after hit piece from Sky News.
He's like Rocky! Adrian! That's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry, man. Let's watch this again.
To Channel 4. They wrote hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. From Sky News to BBC to Channel 4. And if they even knew the current mood of the country or understood the feeling, they'd see by the likes and the response, even knew piece after hit piece. As journalist after journalist. They wrote hit piece after hit piece after hit piece. From Sky News to BBC.
Adrian! Maybe it's just me.
To Channel 4. And if they even knew the current mood of the country or understood the feeling, they'd see by the likes and the responses to their own media articles.
They would see by my thumbs up in Facebook that I should rule the fucking world. My Facebook tells me I'm so fucking popular. I should rule the world, you see. That's the logic of Tommy Bobinson. Tommy Bobinson.
But the public won't buy it anymore. And that's it. That's just the thank yous. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. And I'm going to go take 2 weeks now to just chill my family. No mobile. What I want to say, when I come back in 2 weeks.
It's like he's been on a detox fucking summer camp, innit, man?
I want every single one of you to join me as George is brilliantly going to put together, start to finish. I want to see what's been going on. I've only read little post-its here and there and messages. I want to watch from start to finish what happened from the minute I was taken off the street to the minute I got released. I want all of you to join me as I watch it. So I'll be seeing you all soon when I'm back. Thank you again. I can't express my gratitude enough.
Right. Ah, man. The best people always fucking put themselves in videos and clips with babies and their kids and shit. The best people. Now, here is the Lord that Tommy Robinson is getting funded from as well as the Middle East project, as well as all the people that bounce about the streets fucking throwing cones at police horses going, Tommy, 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 Tommy Robinson, I'd rather be a Nazi than a Muslim. I think that's their new song. Rebel Media, Raheem, Wilders, Middle East Forum, UKIP, Gerard Button, or whatever his name is, right? But Lord Pearson. Now, look at the money these people are coming from, right? Look who Lord Pearson is. I'm about to show you a few interesting things. These are the people that are fucking, this is the Lord that's funding the people that are fucking engrossing, that are probably that have indoctrinated your average Tommy Robinson fan because they think they're fighting for the man on the street and we're fighting against paedophilia. They've hijacked this fucking moral fucking crusade to push a political agenda. And if you question that, you'll get a certain spectrum of people out there. They don't like Tommy Robinson in the fucking as their fucking knuckles are bleeding for walking 2 yards on concrete. Anyway, this is the Lord that fucking Tommy Bobinson was bitch slapped to fucking thank. Now, I would also like to mention UKIP and look at the people, look at the prominent figures in the independent media that are members of UKIP, who are telling you and their followers who to vote for directly now. There's no if, buts and maybes about it. They are party political fucking broadcasts. UKIP could be they could have joined UKIP and had to butt fuck little babies, but because they're under oath can no longer tell you. I heard that in UKIP, you have to fucking butt fuck fucking 10 babies. People should start putting out videos like that. Anyway, Lord Pearson's. Go and check this dude out. Go and check him out, man. Right, long story short, he's the son of John. I can't even be arsed. Fucking. He was educated at Eton, fighting for us, the little man, as he was educated in Eton, you know. All the best fucking people that are fighting for the young folk are educating Eden. Right, he was made life peer as the Baron of Bridge of Gore in the district of Perth and Kinross. Right, take from this what you want. I'm pointing out the hieroglyphs in these societies. Now, I'd like to point you out, I like a wee bit of football every now and again, right? St Johnstone is, they're from Perth. Aye, they're in Perth. This is this guy's neck of the wood. Now, their symbol, where were they? 18, what were they formed? Why does it not tell you? Oh, 1884 they were formed, right? Right in the middle of the Victorian decade, when Freemasonry was at its height, especially in Scotland. And what was it? 2 in 10 men's at the Freemasonry, at the height of Freemasonry in Scotland, in the height of the Victorian Empire in Scotland, 2 out of every 10 men was a Freemason. Anyway, I digress. So look at the wee 2-headed eagle. That's also the symbol of the coat of arms, the 2-headed eagle of Perth and Kinross. It's also one of the symbols synonymous with the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. And big Malcolm Lord Pearson's here. And join the dots here, because like I don't know if you notice, the alt-right are distinct loyalists, and people in the central belt of Scotland will know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you want to be a loyalist, fair enough. No problem. If you want to be I'm on neither side. I'm neither a loyalist or a Republican, right? Because that's the two sides you're giving up here. And if you're a pussy, you just go and support Partick Thistle. But I'm a Rangers fan, right? And so I grew up typically fucking with all the loyalist rhetoric and stuff in that side of the fence. And it's only through my journey about fucking actually trying to discover the history behind history, and reading a wee bit of history and counter history and all that, I've came to the conclusion both sides are fucking not worth fighting for. They're the same entity fighting for your loyalty as always. Just give you one fucking fairy story or another, one magic trick, one spell, one rose written down, so believe me. So, I mean, Britain First was over in Northern Ireland the other day, in the heartland of loyalist Britain, Northern Ireland, where all this, man, it's militaristic. When you go there, the pavement, the curb is painted red, white and blue, every lamppost is flagged and all that, right? It's really hardcore over there, hardcore militaristic, and for me, you have to be crazy to want your kids, any kids, to grow up in a militaristic society. Full stop. Full stop. Just the way I am, just moral compass. I don't think it's good for any kids in the whole fucking world, from any fucking place, any corner, to grow up in a militaristic society. Especially when, like, flying gang signs everywhere and you have to be loyal. Anyway, so I'm pointing out who this guy is and who Tommy Robinson is thanking, and then if this he's in UKIP, funding UKIP, his sisters have joined UKIP. I'm paraphrasing a wee bit here, you can go and check them out yourself. Go and check all the societies he's a member of and all that. He's head of the fucking I Want to Hunt stuff. What did I want to point out? UKIP 2009. Controversy in 2009. Oh, he's doing tax scams. Surprise, surprise. He invited Geert Wilders. Alright, right. Anyway, in February 2009, he invited Geert Wilders to the House of Lords. So this isn't even politicians. This is the old guard, the House of Lords, the landowners. The lords and the landowners, pretty much the same thing, and the commercial interests that they had of the British Empire, the old colonial clique all over the world. That's who's funding the truther industrial complex. In America, same thing. In Canada, same thing. In Australia, same thing. In South Africa, same thing. Sprinkle a wee bit of the old apartheid fucking regime on top of that as well. And when you strip it away, you start to see who they're all this. Is it any cunt? Like, where's this guy's? Take away from this what you want as well. Perth and Kinross. I mean, in the grand scheme of fucking things and the way the world is and all that, is it crazy to think that Donald Trump's mum was born? Oh god, I don't even want to guesstimate, right? But just up here, there's Kinross. Scotland isn't that big a country. Couple of 100 miles. In America, that'd be like the next town. You know what I mean? Over. Rupert Murdoch, Dick Cheney, John Bolton, Putin, knitting nutjob, Trump. Am I the only one that can see who these fucking people are? And how they're all working. Rupert Murdoch, I said it, eh? Richard Desmond of the Express. I think he's the editor of the Express. I mean, am I the only one that can see who these people are? And how the hell, like Tommy, and how they're the people that are funding, manipulating, directing, educating little Tommy Bobinson and what to do and how to do it to enchant the demographic of football fans out there who are like the kind of unthinking warrior class. And I don't want to say that to dehumanise them, but it's true, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? They're just, they're more, they're the, they'll put it this way because they like it, the alpha males. The alpha males out there that typically are bouncing about to look after the tribe, and now they're actually getting round up and manipulated by little Tommy Pied Piper Robinson. Anyway, I digress. So that's the people that Rebel Media, UKIP, Raheem, they're orchestrating this movement, Europe-wide, while all proclaiming it's grassroots politics. And Raheem, when Tommy Robinson was in, admitted that he's working all over Europe to coordinate the campaigns with the people who are winning elections now. They're changing the political landscape. They're getting extreme right morons in on a political level all over Europe. Geert Wilders, he's one of them. Getting the extreme right into power in Europe, the lowlands. Middle East Forum. Tommy Robinson is funded by the Middle East Forum. Look at the biggest amounts of money there, right? Geert Wilders, he don't make money, he's a puppet. Raheem, he's the same, he's an orchestrator. Rebel Media, they don't make money, they're puppets. UKIP, they don't make money. Gerard Batten, he doesn't make money, he's a puppet. But Middle East Forum, they're a facilitator of pro-Israel, anti-Muslim propaganda worldwide. And Lord Pearson, both funding, let me see if I can find, both funding is there a quick wiki on it, right? These are the both money pots. You've got a lord for fucking Perthshire in fucking Scotland. Gotta love the coat of arms, eh? Double-headed eagle. I'm going to... It'd be worthwhile even digging back into his family further. You know, Lord Balfour was for the northeast of Scotland as well. Hold on, let me see if I can find that. Actually, that'll be interesting. I'm not in any rush here. Well, I am actually. But I'm trying to show you how my head's working. Lot. Background in early life. Man, I mean, like, all these people are from the same fucking place, right? Here's Lord Balfour. He was born Letterming House, East Scotland. Let me show you where this is. East Lothian. Oh no. I'm not going to zoom it. Church right next to the Church of Scotland. Right, East Lothian is east of Edinburgh. Lord Balfour was from. And Lord Pearson is from just up the road, just across the Forth. In Perth and Coonross. Getting less than a couple 100 miles away. Donald Trump's mum, couple 100 miles away. John Bolton, how white is he? And you fucking check his fucking lineage out actually. Dick Cheney. And let's look at the British... Oh, hold on. Let me have a wee look for all these. British Constitution Group. And British Constitution Association. Now, these are the people that are pretending to be working for the working man. You know what UKIP was for the work. In fact, what UKIP has indoctrinated the working man to think that their brand of extreme right politics to protect the power of the lords and landowners and the colonial powers of the British Empire. Their politics, their conservatism, old school conservatism is what's good for you. And they've done it using the internet because they're hip and young and they're fucking crusty old men in reality. Right, the British Constitution Group is UK column. Is there a quick wiki on this? God, I need to connect. Oh, there we go. That's got a Wikipedia. Right, anyway, let's have a wee look at this. This isn't obviously Wikipedia, but let's see if it gives you a summarisation. The British Constitution Group is a British tax protester group that advocates so-called lawful rebellion under Section 61 of Magna Carta and other freemen-only land associated pseudo woo. They also believe that the statute law is constructional and that it can be declined, as well as in the pseudo legal strawman theory. The group occasionally arranges conferences with speakers exposing their forum of woo. They are also one of the main peddlers of conspiracy theories surrounding the organisation Common Purpose UK. The group was founded by its current chairman, Roger Hayes. This is a guy who tried to arrest a judge using all this stuff and ended up getting thrown in jail. And again, if you go and look who these people are, they're not men on the street that have been done over by the state. They're all the old money, the old guard, the lords and landowners who are trying... It's the House of Lords versus the House of Parliament. That's a good way of explaining it. And this is the House of Lords' way of fighting back politically and indoctrinating the youth into their politics as well. And trust me, see their politics is anti-workers' rights. And all this bring trade back to fucking our own shores and all that. Watch what's going to happen in America. There's going to be a lot more work, but there's going to be a lot more fucking slaves doing that work, and your money's going to go a lot less further and stuff. It's a race to the bottom when you have an economic and trade war about who can produce shit the cheapest, and you can't produce shit the cheapest by paying your workers a lot of fucking money. Anyway, I digress. So that's who the British Constitution group are proclaimed to be, and Roger Hayes, and go and look who Roger Hayes' links is, and Lord Monckton, and all the lords that are linked into their politics. Then go and look at the British Constitution Association. And this was founded in 1905. God, I know that in my head alright. So, the British Constitution Association share the exact same politics as the British Constitution Group, and it's a bunch of rich men that are fighting taxation from the state. Right? That's all it was originally, and that's pretty much what it is to this day. They're trying to fight for individual rights, but they're trying to fight along the lines that all their corporations and businesses are individuals. You need to think a wee bit deeper about what they're doing. They're trying to get you to treat corporations as individuals, while all the time fighting for individual over the state's rights. And I'm an individualist and stuff. I'm an anarchist at heart, to be honest. But if there is going to be this society and stuff, I can supply a reasonable argument as to what my preferences would be, and it would be a balance, and there would be a balance with a separation of power. These people don't want a separation of power. They want all power in the hands of the lords and the barons, and no Parliament, House of Commons, House of Representatives, any of that stuff. No separation of power. That's what their ultimate goal is. A corporate fascist state. While all the time fucking saying that that's what they protest against, and while all the time trying to manifest the New World Order by destroying the old world order, the United Nations, be the one that's who's mainly in the target and the crosshairs. I mean, anyway, so let's have a wee look who the British Constitution and Association was in 1905. My argument is it's the exact same people and money men that are behind the British Constitution Association. It's all coming from rich lords and landowners who are all funding these political movements. And let's look at a few of the names that were involved in this. Who were a pressure group. It sounds almost exactly what was happening in America, doesn't it? This list was a pressure group designed to oppose increasing state regulation, whether from the Liberal Party's New Liberalism or Joseph Chamberlain's proposal for tariff reforms. It was described as a curious mixture of unionists, free traders, orthodox poor law administrators, and followers of Herbert Spencer. And go and check out who he was. Its first president was Lords. See, Lords. All Lords telling you what's best for you and trying to get you to buy their politics. Lords Hugh Cecil, and one here, Lord Balfour. Right? Now, here's something I want to propose to people, and it's a bit of... It's an alternative way of thinking. It's a new theory. It's a different way. Rather than it's the Jews. Imagine Imagine a world where the people that rule, the people at the head of all these institutions and organisations which hold so much authority over us in our lives, imagine they didn't really believe in the religions that they believed in. Oh, hold on, I wrote something down here. I was going to make a video. Right, where the fuck is it? God. Oh, right. Here, this is a simplification I knew. If bad people would take over a government, not for the benefit of the people, not because they love the country, but for power and for their own corporate interests, is it not in the realms of possibility that that's happened to the institutions of religion? People can't destroy them because you'll never destroy that fucking idea that's out there in millions. But look at the power those institutions hold. So you can't defeat it, but you want their power. So if is it beyond the realms of possibility that bad people over time have usurped religion? And I've had first-hand evidence of people at the head of religions not believing the actual religion that they're fucking preaching to people. And it compounds my belief that it's nothing more than a vehicle for power for a lot of people. And then it's almost like the reason communism doesn't work, because communism doesn't allow for the corruption of man. If it wasn't for the corruption of man, fucking organising and everybody on an equal share and all that would be the ideal fucking scenario, wouldn't it? But then you start getting the people who at the top who organise this shit organising a wee bit more for their and theirs because of the corruption of man. So, I lost my train of thought there. But anyway, this is where the money and the funding and the origins of the political movement, which is now manifested as these bought and paid for shells and useful idiots on YouTube and the internet, as well as the television, radio and newspapers, getting bought and paid for to inject politics into your head. And the best propaganda is stuff you don't understand. It's propaganda, and people will be going, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm independent. Look at me. I'm just little old me. I'm just telling you the truth. Whereas I think people should be a little bit more sceptical. So that's maybe not the genesis of the politics of this, but it takes you back over 100 fucking years. Now, look at that. 1905 is when they set up. Here's when I use my history. When was the end of Queen Victoria's reign? 1903-4? Let me get this. So, let's get the dates down here. 1901. Right. So, let's get back to this. British Constitution Association. Right, so 4 years after Queen Victoria dies, the demise of the Victorian Empire and how powerful it was, there becomes this political entity to protect political reforms, by a lot of lords. One of them being Lord Barford. Go and check all these people out, who they were and their business interests, and you'll see it was the old colonial, a lot of the old colonial and lords' business and political interests of the British Empire, especially during the heyday of the Victorian Empire. And this was the political entity that was manifest and funded to protect their interests. The British Constitution Association was the precursor to the British Constitution Group, and the UK column operates out of the offices owned by the British Constitution Group. I'm not making this shit up. I've got it all documented and all that. It's not that hard to find out. It's British Constitution Group's a limited company, and you can go and look at the addresses to contact the UK column via post and do a wee couple of searches about the business premises that the UK column operate out of, and you'll find it's the British Constitution Group. And then even if you look earlier back in the early days of the UK column, which they don't like to talk about anymore, they used to talk about Roger Hayes and all that side of stuff and everything that came out of Roger Hayes. And my argument is that was some sort of a operation, let's call it, not psyop. It was an operation to try and cause civil disobedience in courts to change the political landscape. They've done it to a certain degree, haven't they? And I'm not saying I agree with any of the fucking laws or any of that shit, because that's sacrosanct, you can't say that. But what I'm saying is, these are the people funding it and the politics, and it's the lords and fucking landowners of the British colonial empire and their tentacles, and their corporate tentacles, all over the world. And you wonder why there's all these grassroots pocket of support for Tommy Robinson coming from America, Canada, Australia, South Africa, Israel. Surprise, surprise, motherfucker. Anyway, that's my wee story down that avenue. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I know it was something different today for my usual World Infowar news, where I usually watch the BBC News, Russia Today and the UK column, and cross-comparison all their stories and whatnot. All the Newspeak and Double Talk and all of them. So check that out every Monday to Friday usually. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed it, the wee breakdown, my story of how I've came to the conclusion, the mosaic of the Truther Industrial Complex. And it's very easy to get caught up in being a useful idiot in their propaganda machine. How do I know? I was very much there at one point. All I thought I was doing was propagating the truth. Right? In hindsight, in reflection, that is not what I was doing. Parroting blindly without without analysing or context or 2 versions or 10 versions of a Russia Today story, a Press TV story, a BBC story, a fucking Alex Jones story, was nothing more than propagating their messaging. And I'll be honest, like, that's what I got away from very early on, but it takes you ages to get away far enough in the distance that you can stand back and go, wow, I was sucked in with that fucking gravitational pull of becoming popular, agreeing with a lot of people, feeling that you're in a big club, a political club, that everybody's righteous and good and loving and Christian and kumbaya fucking yeah, my lord, we're fighting the evils of this world. It's nothing of the sort, man. These are the puppet masters. Fucking don't even believe in fucking Satan and all that shit. They get their own fucked up shit they believe in. Use these characters to control us all. So hopefully you've enjoyed this Tommy Robinson Wins Appeal special, and where the money's coming from, the lords, the landowners, the politics, these are expression. I would love people out there to, if they want to contribute, think of this as a dynamic. Go and trace the real funding or Gelt Wilders. See if it traces back to the fucking royal colonial powers of the Netherlands. Go and trace the funding of Marie Le Pen in France. See if it traces back to the old colonial interests of France. Go and trace back the fucking money and shit that a lot of this identity politics movement in Germany, Austria and Hungary, and see if that traces back to the old colonial powers of Germany, the old colonial powers of Austria, Hungary, when it was the one fucking country. I'm just stabbing in the dark here. I'm going to argue, if you do all that work over time, I'll get this done. It's only been, this is the first time I've thought about doing this. Extension of the political Truther Industrial Complex web. More, like, I've extended it, and you can see it clear as day to day on the YouTube politics. Fucking, we're independent because we watch YouTube fucking clique. You can see it clear as day, and they've got it with the bollocks, man. They've dominated YouTube for so long, man. They've got it with the politics. The only politics that can survive without getting scorned and shut down and fucking brown shirt tactics is the fucking politics of the far right. And people that like people propagating Trump, basically. And I'm aware, I'm showing you how deeper it goes than Trump, right? I'm showing you the fucking 1905 coming out of the Victorian Empire shit, right? So, aye, that's the fucking picture I want to paint. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, something different. Tune in tomorrow afternoon for another World Infowar News at 1 live. Unless any particular topics come up or what, it'll probably be the usual format. But make sure you sub and bell up so that you get all the information. If you did enjoy it, thumbs it up, share it with your friends, family, foes, please. Let somebody know, help propagate the channel and show I rely on you guys and girls at home. If you get value from what I do, there's Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. It's digital busking, everything's available, accessible, free of charge. I hope to do such a good job that you'll consider using your spare change, not your life savings, in the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. And because it's the start of the month, mega thanks to everybody that uses the Patreon out there. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'll say hi to everybody in the chat. Alright, MacGyver, how you doing, my man? Alan MacGyver, how you doing, buddy? Charlotte, the real UK. Coco Stewart, how you doing, buddy? Hope everything is good with you, mate. I know you're getting out and about in the world. The real UK, Coco Stewart. Mahatma, how you doing, Mahatma? 233 Cheech, how you doing? Stephen, and the afternoon, guys and girls. Thanks everybody for joining. Denny Day that, how you doing, my man? The real UK, Cheech, Coco, Charlotte, Denny, Society of the Spectre, Gary, how you doing, my man? Stephen, Annie was in earlier, Blazing, how you doing, buddy? Alex was in as well. In the afternoon, guys and girls, thanks for joining, everybody. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Who was that there? Stephen Fox as well. Stephen Graham, I think that is. David White as well, and Anon Mouse in the house. Vadum, Tom in the afternoon, gents, thanks for joining. So hopefully I've managed to say hi to most of yous in there. And the reason I'm doing it over there is, see with this fucking setup, I struggle to fucking read it. Because it's a screen on a screen on a screen of a screen. And that screen isn't even. I know you don't want to hear this shit, that's a wee bit better. Aye, my ugly mush is big enough, eh? Yeah, that's not too shabby, I don't think. Oh, but then when I come over to this fucking screen and use it... Anyway, I digress, I will moan about that later. In the afternoon, everybody, thanks for joining. I'll hopefully catch you all tomorrow. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully the audio was okay as well. God only knows. That's why I was late. I was fucking spending hours this morning trying to get the audio decent. Fuck knows. In the afternoon, one and all, have a good one.
Clips. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. People say it, so it's true. And if they diss me, I'll fucking sue. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Man's gotta do
clear.